Hey, I've had 2 days out in Spain being immersed and being taught about the Vomero 18. So I thought I would take time and give you the overview, the specs, everything you need to know about it. Now, this is not a review. This is just me telling you about what this shoe is. Here it is. Sorry. There. That is the Vomero 18. I'm about to get changed, take you outside to the beach and tell you all about what Nike has done in the Vomero 18. Oh yeah, the man's in Spain. My name is Aubrey. I'm a very average runner, simply trying to be less average by the day. As at the time of filming this, you've given me 20,070 subscribers. Thank you very much for getting me across that 20,000 mark. I really appreciate it. I want to talk to you about the Vomero 18. Before I start, some disclosures and clarity about what this video is. This is an overview, specs, what this shoe is, because I've spent 2 days here just being immersed in the shoe, and Nike with Sports Direct Running have brought me here, and therefore you might feel that maybe I'm being biased because they've brought me here. I'm going to be all nice and say all the good things about the shoe, but if you know me well, that's not what I do. With that said, let's talk about version 17 to this one. So what's going on over here? Let me tell you, this is not an upgrade from the 17. In my opinion, again, this is not Nike's opinion. In my opinion, this shoe is a completely different shoe from the 17. There are a few things that make me say that, but I'm gonna go into the specifics. One of them being the heart of this shoe for me. I think this might sound poetic to some, but for me, the Vomero 18, hey buddy, it's Nike waking up. Nike waking up to the fact that I think they've been sleeping for quite some time. The stack height is the biggest change you're gonna come across. You see the 17, still a 10 mil drop in both, so they're the same. But the 17 had a 39 millimeter measure at the back of the shoe and 29 at the front. It's now 46 millimeters of stack and 36 at the front. Now I have to tell you, that's mad, that's crazy. That's what excites me about the Vomero, because Nike is trying to redefine max cushioning. Now if you've watched my channel for some time, that's all I'm about. Max cushioning, because running is already hard. Why make it harder by wearing hard shoes? Give me cushioning and I'm with you. All right, next thing I want to talk to you about is the configuration of this midsole to give you that 46 millimeters of stack. A small favor to ask you, sorry for the interruption, please give this video a like. Click on the thumbs up icon just below the video. It sends this video out to many other people. And also if you're new, or maybe you just watch the videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help out and it means a lot. It's a lot more than you would know. So yeah, anyway, let's carry on talking about the Vomero. So the guys at Nike were kind enough to give me the elements, the components of what makes up the Vomero 18. Now when I broke it down, I got to see there are two foams being used in the midsole. The very top layer that your foot is closest to is Zoom X. Now Zoom X is the foam we all love. I love it in my Invincible 3 and it's in there all the way up to the Alpha Fly 3. You have to love that configuration. The next is the React X at the bottom layer, and that is your more sustainable foam, more higher response in terms of returning of energy in React X. They're using that in combination. The one thing I want to show you, if you look very closely, actually, one second, I'll go talk to you over here. If you look very closely, you're going to be able to see that says Zoom X over here. However, that is just branding to show you what's in the shoe. That part is not Zoom X. It's just to clarify that the hero foam in the shoe is Zoom X, but that part, almost like guardrails of the foam, that is actually React X. And how do I know that? If you look at the back of the shoe, there, you're gonna be able to see the arrows pointing on what the foams are. And even if you look at the breakdown of the components, you'll be able to see that that is React X, the top layer is Zoom X. I hope that clarifies it. When a shoe is a max cushion shoe, it goes with comfort. You can't have this midsole with a Vaporfly, highly breathable mesh. It needs to be uniform to that brief, and this shoe nails that. It really does. It's a very well padded upper, and it feels snug. It feels very close to your foot. That presents two problems if not done well: the fit of the shoe, as well as breathability. I think they've nailed the breathability part. I think they have. Here's where my issue is. I wear a 9.5 UK, and I told the guys that, but they sent me, or they gave me, a size 9. And the size 9 fits wonderfully. Do I therefore say it's true to size? I don't know. My answer immediately to that would be no, it's not. Because I wear a 9.5 UK, I now wonder how I would feel in a 9.5 UK. Will that give me the intended feel that Nike had for someone with my foot? Or is this it? I like the fit of the 9. So therefore, it's gonna present that. Now here is the other bit that I think might create the challenge. There's been a significant change in the tongue. The tongue feels, and I love it. It feels way better than the Vomero 17, I'll tell you that now. However, with the paddedness of the upper as well as the tongue, the contradiction there would have meant that the 9 should be fitting. It shouldn't be fitting me as well as it does because of that increased padding of the tongue as well as how I've described the upper. It makes me question what kind of experience people will have. And I'll wait to hear from everyone else, but for me, this is a 9 and it fits perfectly. Let's talk about the lacing system very quickly before we move to the upper. I talked to the lady who's the product line manager of the Vomero, and I kind of expressed to say, I like the lacing system of the Vomero 17. It appears, and it is more resilient. It's simple holes. Whereas in this one, they've gone to that, you see this string, and you feed the laces through that. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's faulted, I'm not saying it's not gonna work, I'm just simply saying I prefer those. So I thought I would highlight that to you, that way you can get to see, bang, they've changed the lacing system. That's one of the significant changes. The heel. I don't mean to sound lazy here, but I don't really think there's much to talk about in terms of the heel. It's simple. There's a lot of structure at the back there, even if you try and push that. But what I like about what they've done with the heel is adding this padding in there. There's also a heel tab. It's stuff you expect, honestly. Now, I also appreciate that these people put in a whole load of work in doing what I would dismiss as, not really much of a change. But to the team, they probably worked hard in putting this stuff together. Now, let's talk about the outsole. Now, the outsole of this shoe is quite interesting. They still have traces of the waffle that we love. Now this waffle outsole, love it. But they've trimmed a whole chunk from the middle bit just to save on that weight. Now they're calling it this high abrasion rubber. Now that's just a description. I don't know the technical term, but what you need to know is they've maintained the waffle rubber in the extremities of the outsole. Those are your key landing zones. That's where you want your flagship material to be. And I have to say, man, I'm not complaining one bit. I think it works very well in terms of trying to reduce weight, taking out that chunk. So I can't really fault that. Nothing much to say there. When I fell in love with Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, I expected the same dominance within the running shoe world, and to a certain extent they had it. But over the years, I feel like Nike lost that. I feel like Nike lost the hunger and their identity in being this giant and took things for granted and was slightly complacent. Being here for the past 2 days has shown me there is an intentional move that this giant that I love is slowly waking up. And from what I've heard, what I have seen, and what I'm trying, I believe them. And that is the end of this overview. I just want to say, man, thank you very much for the feedback, the support that you continue to show me, especially after getting me to 20,000 subscribers. I can't tell you how precious that is. Right, back to this one. I want to sign off by simply thanking Nike and thanking Sports Direct Running for bringing me here. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. To be able to come to places like this just to discuss running shoes, honestly, it's a dream come true for someone like me. So, thank you very much, and hopefully, I'll catch you on the next one.